Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Bowmaster619 here. Another beautiful day in colorful Colorado. You can really tell that spring has come because it is toasty. At least in here it's toasty. My sunglasses are shining. That looks awesome. So how is everybody doing? I'm going to keep my hand right there to try and keep it from blinding you guys. Hold it just right. There we go. My eyes be shining. Where's the E1C? Man, you guys tell me where it is. That was an email I just got from Ilia Motors, which is ELIO. It's a company that I invested in probably 2 years ago at this point. Maybe... No, 2 years sounds about right. So I remember I invested before I wound up going to school. And it's a company that's supposed to be bringing out a little three-wheeled car with a three-cylinder engine that can fit 2 people, if I remember correctly. And it's supposed to be able to get up to 85 miles to the gallon highway. And I thought, heck, if they come out with this thing, that would save me a ton of money in fuel expenses for going to school. Because then all I'd have to do is cram my massage stuff into the back of the car and I'd call it good. But after 2 years, there still is absolutely no word whatsoever on whether or not these stinking things are going to ever hit the market. I see we do have someone watching the live stream. Hello. But it's like, seriously, how long does it take to get this done? I mean, I know full well that nowadays it takes way longer for companies to get started anymore because of all the BS that the government makes them have to go through in order to start a business. Especially something like a motor company, because Lord knows how hard the government's going to try to shut those new ones down because, hey, if those ones are able to run a lot cheaper, then where's the money going to go for the rest of the big businesses, right? I'm getting off track here. Anyway. Yeah, the reason behind the thumbnail as well as the title of this live stream goes back into high school, actually. For those of you that I'm sure you can all remember, back in high school, one of the biggest things of the year, of the school year, was the yearbook. Come out around the end of the year, obviously, and it would have pictures from throughout the entire school year for the different clubs, different events happening, different people, and a lot of times for the seniors, they would have various different things that they would be saying for the seniors, saying, okay, this person's planning on this, or this person's doing this. And they had a survey, apparently, for some of the seniors saying, what do you think this person will be doing? Or what is something you think this person will do? And me and one other person were voted most likely to claim to be a chipmunk. Which, looking back on it now, I can easily see that today, honestly. I was an introvert in high school. I will fully admit that. I was a bit of an introvert. You know, drama club definitely helped me to kind of come out of my shell a little bit, so to speak. But for the most part, I really just kind of stuck to myself. You know, I had my friends. I had the people that I hung out with, but I was not a popular person by any means in school. But, you know, it is what it is. But I remember that so well simply because that particular day that they pulled us out of class to take those photos, it was me standing next to this girl looking like this. I don't know if that's too bright for you to see or not, but yeah, you get the idea. The reason I remember that so well is because I was in such a foul, terrible mood that day. I was just furious at the world. I don't even remember why. I just know I was mad, and I wasn't taking crap from nobody that day. Because I remember, I posed for the picture perfectly. You know, I was just in my element for it and everything. But as soon as they were done, I'm like, are we done? Can I go now? It's like, yeah, shoot, go. Yeah, I'm the kind of person you really don't want to get angered. I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm like Bruce Banner or anything, because I'm nowhere near that smart, and I don't turn into the Hulk or nothing, but as far as my temper goes, that's kind of the way it is. You know, I'm very easy to get along with. I'm a very calm demeanor. But I have a very calm demeanor. I'm a very calm person, and you know, I'm easy to get along with. I don't see why so many people don't seem to get that. But you tick me off, you push me past my breaking point, and something's gonna get broken besides that. Anyway, moving on from there. I remember a while ago, I put up a post on Facebook asking if you guys wanted to hear any of my paranormal stories. Any of the encounters that I've had with ghosts and things. What? Why the heck would it have me reconnecting right here? That was weird. It just disconnected suddenly. I've got full coverage and everything. I don't know why the heck it decided to try and disconnect right there. Anyway. Right, I've had an entity following me since high school. I'm pretty sure she's a female. Or I'm pretty sure it's a female. And she has quite the attitude. She loves messing around, she loves moving things on me, and she's also a pervert. You know, and I honestly don't really care. She's not haunting me by any means. She's not attacking me or doing anything that I need to, like, call a priest for or anything like that, or some kind of a paranormal group or something. But I do remember specifically one night when I was working at Domino's, I was cleaning the oven trays. Now, if anyone has worked at a pizza place before, or at least has looked into a pizza place, you will see those big ovens that we use to cook the pizza. Well, at both ends of the oven, there is the start of the conveyor belt that moves the pizzas through the oven. And underneath there, well, let me back up a little bit. Each part of the oven has about maybe a foot or two, foot and a half of space with which the pizzas originally you set them on and they run through, and underneath those they have the trays which catch all the stuff that falls off. Makes it much less of a mess to have to clean up at the end of the night. But back when we only had the two ovens, I remember I was cleaning the oven tray, I had just finished with one, and I was bending down to put it back in there, and I suddenly feel this on my left cheek. And I'm not talking my face. I felt a nice firm squeeze right on my booty. So, of course, I jumped and turned around to look. I'm like, what? Who was that? And there's no one behind me. You know, the manager was up in the front and the other driver was in the back doing dishes. So there was no one. But I very clearly felt a grip right on my tush. Which the other people thought when I was working with my old manager, Lexi. Lexi, if you happen to be watching this, hello. And I'm in the back washing dishes, and I just happen to be washing the bread knife, which is a long serrated knife that we keep so that we can cut through the focaccia bread for the sandwiches. And apparently she was up front doing inventory and counting all the dipping cups. Well, she said as she stood up, she was bent over, and as she stood up, she felt on her shoulder, just 3 very light taps on her shoulder. She turns around thinking that it's me, and of course I'm not there, and she friggin' screams bloody murder. I'm thinking we're being robbed, so I come right covered up to my elbows in suds with a bread knife in my hand like, what's going on? She tells me what happens, and I just start laughing, because it's like, what the heck? You had me thinking we were being robbed or something, or you were being attacked, and all it was the ghost tapping on your shoulder? Come on! It was fun, though. It was hilarious. I got a major kick out of it. She didn't think it was very funny, of course, but I sure did. Okay, now this is interesting. I'm in the town that I most often deliver to when I do these live streams, so I have enough time to do a decent live stream. And I'm next to the neighborhood where I usually have very bad service, but as of right now, this is still perfectly good service. I mean, it's been saying very bad connection every now and then right up here at the top of the phone. but it only disconnected once, and that was out there on the highway, which I don't even know why it disconnected there. But I digress. And then let me think. Another time, I believe it was when Lexi and one of our other former managers was working. They were in the back talking. I don't even remember what they said they were talking about. But all of a sudden, the oven trays that I mentioned in my last story, or the story before that, I should say, suddenly came flying out of the oven. Now, keep in mind, these things are in there pretty stationary. I mean, you can easily pull them out, of course, but there's still no way that these things should be falling on their own. I mean, the old ones did fall every now and then because it wasn't as tight as it could be. But if they did, they would fall down. But apparently, this time, they flew to the side. You know, because here's the oven. There's a little wall next to it. And then on the other side of the wall is a little hallway, which is where we have the dispatch. And then to the other side of the oven is the make line, which is where we have all the toppings and such. And apparently, what happened was, when these trays decided to loose themselves from the oven, they went flying towards the bake line. There was also one time where a bunch of boxes just randomly fell down out of the side. So we have a tower of boxes, which I'm sure if you've either worked at pizza places or paid any attention to the background where the kitchen and stuff is, I'm sure you've seen where they have the tower of pizza boxes waiting to have pizzas put in them. Now, well, that particular stack that day just decided to suddenly woof, come falling down all over the place. And there was no one standing next to it either. You know, so just at Domino's alone, we've actually had quite a few paranormal encounters. And it's been very interesting, to say the least. Okay, I've just arrived. I shall be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hello. So there's a few interesting paranormal experiences I've had. But let me go ahead and tell you one more. And this is the one that probably freaks me out the most, honestly. Because it's just kind of, sends a shiver down my spine just to think about it. Well, I saw that we did have 3 people in the stream earlier, but then they all kind of left. But that's typical of a live stream, so I'm not saying much. But, on to this story. So, I was asleep in my bed. It was getting close to morning. And I was starting to get into that half-awake stage. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, where you're kind of just slowly starting to wake up and you're still kind of halfway in your dream. and you can somewhat kind of control what the dream is doing, but you're not fully awake yet. You know what I'm talking about. I was in that half-awake stage when I suddenly felt an arm, or a hand, I should say, touch me on the arm, and I felt icy breath right here on my lips. And that shocked me fully to being awake, but it took a few seconds for it to really sink in what was happening. So I think my ghost, this perverted female that's been following me since high school, decided to kiss me good morning. Ugh. Which, if you've ever had a ghost kiss you, that is a very unique experience, I'll tell you. Very unique. But, you know, like I said, I really don't mind that I'm being followed by an entity of some kind. It's not maniacal, it's not evil in any way that I can tell, it's not, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Malevolent? Or am I thinking malevolent? I need to start looking through a thesaurus, apparently. But yeah, there's some paranormal stories. No one ever said one way or another that they wanted to hear them, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to tell them anyway. Because, come on, who doesn't like hearing a good, scary story? Or at least an interesting story, for that matter. Alright, we've been running for 18 minutes now. I could go ahead and keep this live stream going for the rest of the way home, but it doesn't seem like we have too many people tuning in at the moment. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. If you want to hear any more interesting stories like that, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you everybody who did tune in. Thank you everybody in post who's watching. This is Bowmaster619 out. As always, drive safe. I will see you in the next video. Take care.